just tuned in to NNUTS podcast. Yeah, that's right, NNUTS. Nothing new under the sun. So make sure you tune in, because this is where it's at. You don't want to miss it. You hear me? Let's go.
Hey, check out my bro on NNUTS. Nothing new under the sun.
What's up, this is your boy Brian, and I'm back like I never left. Thank you for checking my podcast out. This is the next episode of Nothing New Under the Sun, and I'm here to kick it with you about money. And the reason why I'm here to kick it to you about money, because I kind of grew up, and my understanding of money was BS. I grew up in a Renaissance era. I grew up where you kind of mortgage your now to pay for, you mortgage your future to pay for your now, and then when you got to the future, you was in the hole for the now. You know what I'm saying? So like, pretty much I grew up poor, and we looked at money as either you had it or you didn't have it. And it pretty much cash ruled everything around me. Like the whole thing was to get cash and then not hold cash because somebody would rob you. You know, and I say rob you, it could be the man on the corner, or it could be your banker that just, all of a sudden you ain't got the money that you thought you had. So I grew up thinking that banks weren't good for you, that they was always trying to cheat you. I grew up thinking that, like if you really want something nice, you're going to have to put it on layaway, or you have to basically live this life like I'm paying for, like you're going to be in debt forever. So you might as well enjoy life. Right? I come from a place where you ain't know how long you was gonna be here, so you wanted to live it up while you could. So I do understand why I learned why money was like that in the hood. Like I do know why we looked at it as a resource, like a hot potato resource. Like we got it, we gonna spend it, we gonna live our life, we gonna enjoy it, and then it's like, shoot, you got a credit card. Credit card, where I'm from, could be income, because you could get a credit card, use it up, and never expect to pay it back. A total different culture shift when you get to other communities, or you go to other third world countries, to where basically you don't get credit, you pay for it before you get it. And I kind of had to. I learned my lesson the hard way, right? I learned by having bad credit. By these fake emergencies. Oh, my car messed up, I need to get it fixed, and oh, I got the cash, but I might as well use the credit. Like all these things that that I see that's still prevalent. Like I see stuff going on, and I'm like, man, where did my shift come from? Well, my shift came from, like I remember going to the store with my mom. We used the food stamps and getting to the register and not having enough money, right? And I thought that was the most embarrassing thing. And I was like, man, like for real, this can't be the way. This can't be life. Like everybody can't live like this, right? Where, like you barely making it. And when I say barely making it, I mean like you got bills, and you putting stuff on the bills, and you still, getting shut off notices. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't never had enough to pay the whole bill off, type thing, right? So I look at money real different now, and I can't say totally different, because I'm still like you know what you know. And like my first thing that I bought, my first big purchase that I bought was an entertainment system. My mom told me to, go to Rent Center and get this entertainment system to start building on my credit. I was 17, turning 18, senior year. No, I was younger than that, but I don't know how that worked. What we get creative where I'm from. So you could have a bill in your name before you was 10. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. We did what we did to survive and not thrive, right? So as I grew up and as I learned how money works, and I learned my lessons, and I say this, I learned my lessons bumping my head, but not to say that that was a good thing. If if I would have knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have bumped my head. I would have been more prepared. I would have understood that you can pay for stuff. You get income two ways, right? You get an increase in income two ways. You get an increase by one, your job or whatnot paying you more, and by two, lowering the things that you like, lowering your bills, right? So I look at now I take a fine comb through my bills and say, hey, what do I need? What's necessary? I have a nice cell phone, but I don't have a nice cell phone bill. So while people pay, $50, $60, $100 for their cell phone bill, my bill is $15. I don't need unlimited data. I'm usually at home, especially during the pandemic, and like most of the time, I'm only sending pictures on text or something. So I don't need that data. Now, if your lifestyle affords for you and like you make your money off that data, then cool, do your thing. Like, I just can't see paying that amount of money. I can use my $35. I call it the $35 difference. When I used to pay $50 and now I'm paying $15, $35 I get to keep and reallocate to something that I want or something that I want in the future, right? And that takes me back to, okay, what I want in the future is I want a new car. $35 a month get me closer to a new car than not having that $35 a month. And I think my culture as a whole, we kind of think that, hey, drips out the faucet don't add up. But, $10 here, $15 there, $25 there. That's why they try to get you that last cent. That's why they try to get you to supersize, because that 39-cent supersize difference is probably a good 17, 20% more. I'd probably say 17% more in their pocket. And so in this video, in this podcast, I'm actually challenging people, challenging you to see how you understand money. And like I said, in different cultures and things, it's different because if you owe somebody, that's considered bad. I'm not necessarily sure if I live in a time where, in the U.S. as a whole, we reward debt. And when I said we reward debt, I said if you look at the tax code, like if you own your house, you get less credit than you do if you have a mortgage on it, right? Crazy, right? So what does that say? Do they want you to be an indentured servant? Maybe. We reward credit, or we reward debt by you got to be in some type of debt to have great credit. So really, is it good credit or is it good resource management, right? That's something I ask myself all the time. Like, if a person has enough to pay cash for everything that they get, they don't have good credit, and that's crazy to me, right? You're not having good credit, but you got the money to afford everything that you want in life. Again, it's a culture shift. It's a dynamic. It's a shift in how you think about money. Like, I live in the layaway period where my mom used to put our school clothes on layaway and, work towards that. What's the difference in putting it on layaway and actually just saving the money, right? I don't know. To this day, I'm jaded and I don't like to put anything on layaway. If I can't afford it now, I'm not buying it. And if I really want it, I just save it to buy it. And I want you guys to understand that I used to think banks was horrible. I used to think, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. But really, it's how you use those instruments. You got to be on top of your game to use those instruments. You have to keep track. And I understand that sometimes we don't like to keep track, but you have to keep track of your money. You have to keep track of how much you're spending. Because the way that they earn the money on them fines and the fees and how they get you, that's it. Like, child support, where I'm from, child support kills you because it's not, now they put it on your credit. So it's a bill on your credit, and like people can actually see it when they pull your credit and look for you for a job and stuff. And who wants to be like, oh, you got child support that you owe $30-some thousand for? The mission is to not get yourself in that situation, but when you do get yourself in that situation, find the resources to get yourself out. And when I mean find the resources, I mean, maybe ask for as much forgiveness as possible. Maybe ask for any plans that they have where you can do in lieu of the child support. Like where I'm from, the game is heavy. Like you keep money under if you keep money under your mattress, somebody might rob you from your mattress. So like, where do you keep money at? And I had to learn that I keep money in an elaborate system of banks and fintech. And I say that because I got brothers and sisters that use Cash App. I got a lot of people that don't use banks, but that got using Cash App and stuff like that. But I want you to look at those as vehicles, as ways where you could you can flex your muscle a little bit and transfer this consumerism to productionism. And I say that to say, like, I believe that like saving $10 a week, you can save $10 a week by just pinching it off and putting it in one of those accounts that you really can't see. Now that's $520, a year, and that people like, $520 a year. What's that gonna do for you? But you know what? That's just the start. Once you do that $520, and then the next year you put $20 in an account a week, and I'm gonna just tell you, $20 don't go far. Like that's a night out on the town. That's two meals from McDonald's. Just hold the money for a minute, right? I do taxes, and I see people with all these returns, and a lot of times it's like they get their taxes to pay their bills that they got last year, right? Let's get ahead of your bills, right? Let's get ahead of your bills. When you're on your taxes, like in my house, on my tax, they do like an escrow, right? They say, hey, you're gonna need to pay these taxes, and most people can't drop it like it's hot. But if you can pay it over time, you can drop it like it's hot. Now, they take your money and they put it in these different accounts so they have it for you to pay, right? You might have to do yourself like that. And then, like I said earlier, you can't have fake emergencies at the same time. Oh man, my daughter needs some new shoes. It's an emergency. Let me go raid that fund. Like just sit it, and you get a couple $1,000s under your belt, and then maybe you can take out a bill completely, right? Maybe you don't need that new iPhone 12. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you just sit on it for a minute. And matter of fact, I got my boy Kente. I'm trying to get him on the podcast. I'm gonna get him on the podcast, and we're gonna show you ways where you can get your money, where you can earn more money, and stack your money as you earn it, right? Compound interest. We're gonna compound interest you, and we're gonna get you in some things where you can see your money. And like I tell people, this is an industry term to be liquid. Like, what do you have liquid? That's how much cash on hand you have, right? That's how much cash you have. A lot of times I don't have I'm not real liquid, but I'm fluid. And when I say fluid, I have my savings, and then I have my savings investments, right? So a lot of times when you sitting your money in your bank account, it's not doing nothing for you. So you can have 2 G's, 3 G's in there that's just sitting there. Why let that sit there? I put that in my money market account, and I gain more interest on my money market account than I do on that, than sitting there letting the bank just hold my money and them making money off my money. So I'll say this to challenge the people that's listening, challenge them people that's I say, look, let's start saving, $10 a week, $20 every 2 weeks if you get paid. Just pinch it off and put it in a separate account. I'm gonna come back to you and show you a way where you can and I'll show you the numbers and show you how it grows. Show you where you can be fluid and you can take that money, where you're not sticking it in the CD where it's stuck in there for 9 months or 10 months or whatnot, and only gaining that interest. Where you can actually be fluid, not necessarily liquid, but fluid enough to get to it in a couple of days. So I just really wanted to challenge you to just save $10 a week, $40 a month, you know. And then if you can do that, we'll show you how that $40 a month can be $52 a month, and the $52 a month, added on to it's gonna grow. And I'm telling you this because like I've learned how to navigate money. Money is not what you want. It's the resources that it affords you. And a lot of times you just having assets where people can say, "Oh wow, I never thought you would have that." You get access to other markets and other investments where you could be not just rich but wealthy. And I say that because what I want people to get out of this is to start building wealth, start building. I don't necessarily. You don't have to go out and get new accounts. You don't have to go. Wealth don't mean you balling. You know what I'm saying? Wealth means you have the ability to ball. Being rich is like you balling out of control. But wealthy, it's like, yeah, I could buy that if I wanted it, but I don't have to buy it. And I just want to challenge people to actually look at their expenses and say, hey, what's necessary and what's not necessarily? How can I earn more money with the money that I'm already getting, right? And that's all. This is a preview for that, right? Because I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna continue to try to be that not just what is it? I'm not just a spokesman, but I'm the president. You know what I'm saying? Like I want people to see my journey and see how I not necessarily how I built wealth, because I have some friends that's building wealth in different ways. But I want to show you some return. I want to show you some. We work really hard for our money, and I've learned that your money can work for you. That's all I want. That's the final cut of it. Your money can work for you. I've met people that made hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and they spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I've met people that make good money, but they also spend better money. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is, you working hard for your money, start letting your money work for you. And I want to show you in your own ecosystem how it can work for you. But this is my podcast. This is not nothing new under the sun. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. And at the end of the day, I hope you're a better person from it. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, like, subscribe, comment, hit me up. Peace.
Nada nuevo bajo el sol.